Alright, welcome back.
Lally ho! No lally ho.
Sure, lolly ho.
See how it is.
Okay.
Oh damn!
Gonna give us some iron swords for our generic guys, huh? Well, they can definitely use it.
So back to this immersion thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're a game, so it's never gonna be real. And one of the games that I thought did a really good job paying attention to detail and quote-unquote attempting to be somewhat realistic was Until Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Love that game. But it still has some issues. Like, one of the characters is like suffering from depression and like he's kind of cray.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for the most part, he like keeps it under wraps, and then like some stuff. Have you seen it at all?
Not really. No.
Okay, I'll try not to spoil too much. But he seems
worry about spoiling it for me.
Well, he seems to keep it under wraps and everything. Like even when the like big reveal happens, he's still pretty much like he's there, right? He's cognizant,
right?
And then he just like loses his shit, like 0 to 60, just boom. Now, one of the arguments you could make is before that happens, he gets like decked in the face hardcore and gets knocked out. So what little remaining sanity he had just went out the window when his brain got all jumbled and stuff. But it's just like real quick. And the dialogue's good in the game, but there's a couple moments where like, hold on. Like, he could have just easily diffused the situation and explained it, and it'd have been fine. But with, like, what he said, like, didn't really...
You said he has, like, mental disabilities, though?
Not disabilities, like, at the beginning of the game, his his sisters, who were twins, die. And, like, he suffers depression from their deaths.
Because, I mean, sometimes I hear that people with problems like that can indeed go from, like perfectly fine to being, like, really, to having, like, those kind of problems relatively quickly.
Just, like, manic, just boom.
Not saying it happens, like, all the time, but...
It's possible. Okay.
I don't think that's totally unrealistic.
So, that was, like, one of the things where I was like, wait a minute, this... And then another part of the game, one of the characters gets a double-barrel shotgun. And somehow manages to fire this gun, and you get to choose when you fire it. But you can fire it a max of, like, 13 times without reloading it at all.
A double-barrel shotgun.
A double-barrel shotgun. A sawed-off double-barrel shotgun 13 times, no reloads.
Okay, now that is a lot less realistic.
And it's like... What? Because... one of the guys I watch sort of well, I wouldn't say regularly. I'd catch his streams every now and then. He was streaming it the past 2 days, and when he picked up the gun, I started counting And I was like, really? 3 shots, no reload? And then he was like, you don't want to count. It'll just make you mad. Well, you know what? Go ahead and count and let us all know.
And now, I would say in that regard, from a gameplay standpoint, if you had to reload that many times, it probably would not be, it probably wouldn't be a very enjoyable item to be using.
Mm-hmm.
It would it was something you would not want to be,
Well, it's a very, like...
Really, game?
It's almost like a movie. Like how the game plays. Very much kind of in the same vein as like Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain-esque.
Oh, so it's more like a visual novel sort of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Like if they made it into a movie, because they used like hyper-realistic facial recognition and like all that stuff. Like the game looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they could easily make it into a movie. Like, just cut down some of the, like, all the, like, walking around crap, leave in the key points, and they could do a 2-hour movie and it would be phenomenal. Especially if they kept the same actors, because they used actual actors and not just, like, voice actors. Like the German Volkswagen guy. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Did you see Constantine?
No.
Okay, well, there's this really popular German guy who's been in like a bunch of stuff, and he usually plays a bad guy.
Not David Hasselhoff then?
No. And he's in it. And I think he was, like, probably one of the, like, most recognizable people. I mean, Hayden Panettiere was in it, and she's just, like... and her character was great. And then there's this one guy who's in it who got his own show shortly after the game came out and stuff, so... I don't remember his name. But, I mean, they're, like, real actors and stuff. And the way they did this, like all their lines and everything, the actors never saw each other. Like they went in and recorded their lines and all their stuff, and without ever interacting with each other, which is kind of sad. So I think it'd be really cool to see if they ever did do a movie out of it, if they got all those actors together so they could finally like meet and stuff. Or, at least work on it together, quote unquote. Let's see if I can find that guy. I'll say his name. I don't know how good you are with names of actors.
Probably not really good.
You need to see Constantine, though. It's amazing. And it's like pre-crazy Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf did that one?
He's a side character.
Oh, okay.
Peter Stormare. Stormare? I guess. Did you see 22 Jump Street?
No.
Okay. He played, like, the main bad guy in 22 Jump Street. Apparently, he was in The Big Lebowski.
Shia LaBeouf did?
No. This German guy.
Oh, okay.
Or Swedish guy, I'm sorry. Normally plays a German guy. Because Americans don't know the difference. Let's see. I mean, he's been in, like, a crap ton of stuff.
I mean, if you know his name, I might recognize it.
Yeah, that's his name.
What?
Peter Stormare.
Oh, no, I guess I don't.
Yeah.
As those of you who have seen like our videos that we do together, folks, and Scarlett's asked me about movies I've seen, my finger is far from the pulse of like a lot of the big stuff.
Yeah, like Jay just needs to come down here and then like watch just like a bunch of movies. Just like sit him down and be like, all right, we're watching like these 3 movies tonight. And then we're gonna play some Turtles.
Which Turtles?
Whichever.
Yeah. Okay.
Whichever.
Just about any of them are good.
Yeah.
The ones
If you want.
Ones I've played anyway.
If you wanted to, were there any on Super Nintendo?
Yeah, Turtles in Time.
That's what I thought.
And Tournament Fighters.
Yeah, no. Hard no.
I think Scarlett's not a fighting game person, I don't think.
I have it. I actually have it on Super
Oh.
Nintendo.
Cool.
But no. I'd have to get another Super Nintendo controller if we did a Super Nintendo game, but like for emulator or just regular Super Nintendo, I'd need another controller. Because the one that I have that I'm pretty sure still works, the start button is broken. Like, it's gone. But all the other buttons are there and they work. So as long as you don't need the start button.
Well, I have a few SNES controllers too.
But I would need to get another USB one. Because I have not... I've only got one. But I have 2 NES controllers, but I need to take... I still haven't taken them apart. And because what I want to do, which...
I have a USB adapter that you plug it into a USB, and then you can plug a Super NES controller into it.
Now I'm talking about the regular NES one.
Oh, NES, okay.
Yeah. Because they're different. They're so different. Just like the button presses, there's so much play in the USB ones. So what I want to do is take apart the USB controller, take the innard out of it, stick it in a regular NES controller so I have the correct button presses. And I think I'd have a lot easier time without that nasty delay. Like, when I was playing Turtles 2, I got a blister from trying to do the kill move.
Oh.
But when I played it on console, I didn't get a blister at all. And I actually beat it on console. I did use the cheat for 9 lives, and I ended up using 4 lives, I think. It was like... I think it was like 4 lives, but I got through the whole game. First time on console.
To be fair, that game is really difficult without the 9 lives cheat.
Yeah. Yeah, those damn tigers are what got me.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hate those things. But when I got to Shredder, I was actually able to dodge all of his insta-death attacks.
Oh, nice.
Which in our race, I think he just like annihilated me with them every time.
Yeah, well, me too. He was doing that.
But yeah, I did like super well. I was very happy.
We need to find something else to race one of these days.
I would say Mega Man would be good, but you would just insta win.
That's what That's what I thought would be. Well, Mega Man's usually a pretty common choice for people racing, anyways. But
Well, that's because they're not that long.
yeah. But yeah, I think for the most part, I think it would come down to me and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Like, if we did 2, I would just go for the Metal Blade and just Metal Blade the shit out of everything. If I was able to beat Metal Man.
hey, if that works, go for it.
Because the Metal Blade does decent damage to every Robot Master, doesn't it?
Almost either some of them are immune to it, but those that aren't immune to it are usually take a lot of damage. I think Bubble Man, you see Bubble Man, Wood Man, Metal Man himself, Flash Man.
Metal Man takes one shots.
Yeah.
Gets one shot by it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I was watching the TAS earlier today where the guy did Mega Man X 1 through 3 with one controller.
There's a channel I watch called Snupsters, and they do a lot of Mega Man races, and with like all kinds of different like conditions, like adding either playing with some kind of mod to the game to make it harder, like sometimes limiting it to using one particular Robot Master weapon.
You have to use Bubble Man's Bubble Lead the whole game.
Yeah, something like that. And they wouldn't... They usually don't complete the game like that, but they'll try to, like, see who can make it the farthest with that, with under that condition. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Future Jade. Link in the description. But yeah, if we did Mega Man, like, it'd be you and Jason. All the way. You'd have to pick one of the Mega Mans you know better than him if you wanted to win.
Yeah. I mean, it would still be fun if the rest of you guys participated too.
I mean, I'll take you all on with Mighty Number 9.
And yeah,
being the first one to complete it.
And me, if I were to do... Oh, hold on a second. Looks like we got a cutscene.
Oh, she looks tired. She's wearing heels.
Or annoyed.
Oh, my feet are killing me.
What's the matter?
Save point. No, nothing, my lord.
Your color does not look so well. You racist.
Right? I'm just a bit tired, that's all.
There's no need to overwork yourself. We'll turn back. Yes, we'll turn back after coming all this...
Now! I just need a moment to rest. That will more than suffice.
Let's make camp here for now.
I like how the generic soldiers don't say anything, but they still put them on screen. Free heal? Was that a free heal?
Feeling better?
Yes, Mr. E.
We'll arrive in Kaipo shortly. Just hold on a little longer. Yes, it does look like we got a free heal.
Nice.
So what I was saying before is, like, if we were to race Mega Man, I would probably still like pick an order which is like maybe a little less conventional. Like say Mega Man 2. Everybody goes for Metal Man first to get the Metal Blade right off, but I usually go for Airman first. Usually to get item 2 early, but kind of something like that, where it's not like the same thing that everybody else does.
Mm-hmm. I don't even remember which Robot Masters I've beaten. Haven't beaten all of them. I know I've beaten some of them.
Oh, by the way, Harley's piercing sight ability, I did look that up on her status screen, and it ordinarily it will do dispel to an enemy. But it will sometimes also assign a random elemental weakness to them as well.
Which is not useful unless you Libra right after.
Right. Again, unless the game actually would have told you straight up what they're weak to, like in Final Fantasy VI, there's an ability Edgar gets that can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll race you guys with Mighty Number 9.
Okay, I mean, I have it. I know Jason has it because I gifted it to him a while back.
Mm-hmm.
when it was on sale, and I got it, and I was going to gift it to you, but then you got it during that time, so
it was like $7. So I was like, I'll give it a try.
So then I gave it to Jason. And he didn't seem to mind it that much either, from what I heard from him.
Once he finally got it to run. I don't know what issue he was having. I just installed it, clicked it, and boom, it worked.
Well,
and then once we upgraded your PC, the same thing, right? You just installed it, clicked it, boom.
Well, I know you're PC Master Race, so you probably have like all the optimal stuff on yours.
I built yours pretty similar to mine. I mean, my processor's a little better than yours because processors are expensive. But, I mean, everything else, I mean, my graphics card's a little better than yours, but not, like, drastically so. And I think I bought you a better power supply than mine, too. So, when you eventually upgrade again, keep that power supply.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because I've had this one since 2012, and it's still got God knows how many hours on it.
Nice.
Like, your old power supply still probably has, power supplies really don't go bad. Unless you're overclocking, like, all the time. Even then, they last for, your motherboard's gonna brick before your power supply does. So, but yeah, your PC's pretty close to what mine is.
Good.
So, like, instead of, like, with my graphics card and my slight better processor, like, I might be able to play some games on, like, ultra-high graphics where you could only be on, like, high graphics or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, other than that, they're pretty similar.
By the way... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't want you to have to worry about a crappy PC or worry about upgrading, like, in the next, we'll say, 3 or 4 years, you should be good.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you could do that would make it better, as far as like being closer to mine, is if you got a solid state drive.
Yes. I do have a, just last week I got an external hard drive. It looks solid state. I can't say, I'm not sure for certain if it is, but it looks it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 4 terabytes.
Jesus. That's what I want for an internal. Just like a regular hard drive internal. But yeah, if you got a solid state drive, I mean, just like a 250 gig solid state drive, put your operating system on it, and then any like high intensity games or games that typically have long load times, like any Fallout game or like Path of Exile, which takes forever to boot up. You put those on your solid state drive and it'll be like instantaneous. So, I mean, if you got one of those and did that, you would increase your performance by a crap, like, you know, when I boot mine.
Yeah, I've noticed that when you said you'd need to reboot, it would like take you only like a couple minutes as opposed to like 10 minutes for me with my drive.
Yeah, no, it's pretty instant. It's like maybe 2 minutes, if that, to get it booted up and have all the startup things initiate. So, I mean, like I said, if you got one of those, just put your OS on it and then a couple games, you'd be set. Or if you listen to like iTunes a lot, put one of those on, put that on there.
Okay, and I just randomly picked up another bronze tail from like just the middle of that pool there. So I don't know what I'm gonna get from this bronze tail, but hopefully it's good. Like I said, the tails that we got in the original Final Fantasy IV were like really good end game equipment. By the way, one thing I wanted to point out is it looks like that economic ring that I put on Edward. It said it doubles the effect of his healing items. It looks like it does stack with salve, so if I use it to spread the effect of a potion or something on everyone, it does double the effect of that. So that's actually a pretty nice combo.
That is still 4. Well, and Edward's tail.
Oh, are you looking it up?
Uh-huh. Looks like there's 5 silver tails and 5 bronze tails.
Do I have to collect all of them?
Oh, okay. You can trade bronze tails for silver tails. 5 for 1, and then 5 silvers for 1 gold.
Oh, that's how it works. Okay, a little bit different from how it worked in the original then.
Mm-hmm. And then it's got a bunch of different locations for where they're at.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Oh, look at... Speak of the devil. Hey there, I'm a collector, and I love to collect rare tales. One soap... and there it is!
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, we only have... I guess we only have 3 bronze tails now. Hopefully we get... Maybe we'll get them from, like, enemy drops. Hopefully not the super rare drops. Like they were before. Like those items we would get like as a super rare drop, and then we would trade them in for like the pink tail. We would get like adamant armor from that, and the rest were like the onion equipment.
Uh-huh.
Anyways,
it doesn't. There's also the pink, gray, and all that. Mm-hmm. You get it from a certain enemy on a certain moon phase in a certain location. I don't even know what they do. Oh, no?
There might be some more hunting I'll have to do off screen then. But, Harley. Oh no. Harley!
I don't even... It doesn't really say what they do. What do? Hold on. Your Highness.
That's desert fever, no doubt about it. It happens to people on long journeys all the time. First they get fatigued, then the fever hits the second they set foot on the sand. Then we must get a sand pearl. Oh, you know about those. I've only heard about them from my grandfather's old tales. There's a monster known as an antlion that lives in a cave near Mount Hobbs. Supposedly you can get sand pearls when it lays eggs. I've also heard that antlions only lay eggs during a full moon. I'll leave right now to bring one back. Would you be able to watch her until then? Of course. But you'd better give up on the idea of leaving today. Get some rest first. Can't have you getting sick, too. That's true.
Okay, apparently if you trade a gold tail... Wait. Yeah, if you trade a gold tail, you get another guild band.
Anna, Tella, it's been quite a while, hasn't it?
And they are rare drops from enemies, but enemies will drop them. Bell!
Anna. Anna, why must you be so sad? Anna. What are you trying to tell me, Anna? Can't even tell that, you spoony bard. Oh, it's... Tella. I don't want you to live, Edward. What do you mean? I'm alive as I've ever been. Take a good hard look at yourself and then tell me whether that's really true. What? You know what to do. Tella. What could I be missing?
So I figured out what Anna was trying to say.
What's that?
Look, there she goes. That girl is so peculiar. I wonder if she's feeling well. The dreamy, far-off look, and her nose stuck in a book. What a puzzle to the rest of us, that bell.
All right. Then.
No? No?
Okay. Okay. The fever's getting worse. We need that sand pearl as soon as possible. I'll get it no matter what it takes. Keep an eye on her for me, please.
Didn't he get, sick the first go-round?
Rosa.
Ah.
And then Cecil had to get the sand pearl.
Because women are frail and they need our protection.
Apparently.
You know, that was one of the things I had questions about. So, in video games, that's the thing, right? Like the damsel in distress, women are useless, they're just there for boobs. But, I mean, when you look at the Japanese culture as a whole, that's kind of like how they view their women folk.
Is it really, though? That's what I hear some people say, but I don't know. I see...
Because they always want a son for the family name to live on.
That's in China, though, isn't it?
I think it's both of them. I thought it was both of them. Oh, I don't know. But, I mean, that's their culture, and, we don't agree with it, apparently.
Because I see a lot of really powerful women in, a lot of the Japanese, pop culture.
Well, you do, but then, the majority of them, most of the women are just there for fan service, and, they might, have, their one, moment of, awesomeness, and then they'll get, immediately decked in the face, and then the main male protagonist has to come save them. In, Sword Art Online, for instance. The main chick in that
Asuna.
is... Yeah, Asuna's awesome, and, does really great things, but then, the whole second arc is... Kirito's got to go rescue her.
That is true. That whole second half of the first season, she's demoted to, damsel in distress. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, exactly. Or, they go to, when Kirito has his freak-out moment where he's forced to care about all the people who don't matter because they're sheeple and such. And he kills that floor boss by himself. And it's no matter how awesome you are, Asuna, you will never be this awesome. Or even Dragon Ball Z, they had a bunch of female characters in Dragon Ball that were really strong characters, and then Dragon Ball Z came out, and it's like, and women don't matter.
That is true. I pointed that out. I pointed that out myself for like almost all of them. Chi-Chi, 18, and Videl. All of them are like they started out really strong characters, but then get like demoted to like the domestic female role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 18 sitting there killing people and like being awesome, and then she's like, "Oh, short little bald man who can't pick up a spatula." Yeah, okay. And you're like, wait, what? But anyway, let's continue on with the story. I'm sorry. This is all my fault.
Don't be ridiculous. Just stay in bed for me. I'll bring back the medicine you need.
This would have never happened if I hadn't forced you to take me with you.
Enough talking. You need to conserve your strength.
Please, be careful. Blah.
Harley. The Outline's Den is east of Damsine Castle.
Spoony Bard's pissed.
We're traveling to the Outline's Den, yes? Yes. Let us accompany you, Your Highness. No, I need you to stay here with Harley. But, my lord... Please, I'll be alright.
This is a terrible idea.
This is a really stupid idea. Yes, Your Highness. You're just gonna go all by yourself and...
You're gonna get riggedy wrecked, son.
This is my own problem. One that I'll fix myself.
Well, viewers, looks like we gotta grind for 20 hours. I don't know if there's a boss fight or not. Like, if you have to fight the antlion on your own, you're screwed.
Yeah. I hope we don't have to... Are you guys going to give us a hovercraft? Something that's going to let us... Because we're going to have to go all the way back through the... all the way back through the cave again. That's kind of a... That would be kind of a troll move game. A new ship's route opened up at the Eastern Port. We received travelers from around the world thanks to that.
Yay!
Tella and Anna are watching over this town, over all of us. May their protection last for all eternity. Sage Tella, yes. Even today I still find it hard to believe that he's gone.
He killed himself because he's retarded.
The face of the moon changes whenever you rest at an inn or use a tent or cottage. Yes, thanks. Thanks for that. Been through the desert, quench your thirst with Kaipo's premium drinks.
I thought you were talking to that pot.
Oh.
I was like, what?
That was a sign on the wall. Why can King Edward still not let go of the memory of Anna? Oh, I apologize, my lord. The antlion doesn't lay eggs unless there's a full moon. Isn't that romantic?
Oh, gotta go there in a full moon.
Ah, the drink here is the best in the whole world.
Or at least you have to be at their den at a full moon.
Right. Oh, hold on, there should be a... Yeah, item shop.
I mean, like, even... Like, the first Resident Evil, which had Jill, who's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She still needed Barry to help her out of the damn room so she wouldn't become a jiggle sandwich. And, like, any interaction she had with any male character, like, she was like, no. Durr. And then in 3, she was like, zombie apocalypse, hooker boots, mini skirt and tube top. Alright.
And that's why 3 is the best Resident Evil.
Well, 3's the best because the mechanics were the best.
And because Jill is totally badass and hot.
Well, yeah. But, still, it was like, really? You're gonna, like, sex her up like that? And even then, she gets infected and she has to be saved by Carlos.
Well,
and at the end of the game, it's like, oh, there's a giant nuclear missile coming and gonna destroy the place, and we gotta get out of here. That's the best Cosby you're gonna get out of me. So they gotta leave. Depending on your choices, either Carlos flies the helicopter, or Barry shows up and flies the helicopter. Because poor little Jill doesn't know how to fly a helicopter. And then they just, like, took her awesome character and they were like, and she's a sex slave. And thus we have Resident Evil 5.
She's a sex slave in that game?
I would assume so. Did you see what she was wearing? I hate her character in 5. Like, Revelations, like, tried to redeem her, and they did a pretty good job. But even, like, still, at the end of the game, oh, Chris, save me. You're such a big, strong man with your steroids and your small penis. Like, no. Get out of here. You know, Attack on Titan. The main chick, don't remember her name. It's been a while since I've seen it. The main chick is, like, super badass and awesome. But then, like, the main dude can turn into a Titan, so she's, like, instantly useless. So it's like, oh, okay. Their main, like, rival-esque person is a chick, and she's, like, super badass. And then she, like, takes the coward's way out. So, it's like, what? So, it's like they try to give women strong roles, and then they're just like, yeah, no.
But then they kind of just take a step back on it at the same time.
They take, like, 2 steps back. Like, it's like a Paula Abdul song. Featuring an animated cat.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, even, like, Sailor Moon, they're, like, barely wearing any clothes. Or High School of the Dead, which is phenomenal, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Psycho, her name's not really Psycho, but that's what I like to call her, is super badass, but she still takes a back seat to the guy. Like, when it comes down to it, she's like, I'm just a weak little girl. Right? And it's like, no, you're not. Stop it. Stop it. That and that anime had, like, fan service out the ass, which I don't really care for. It was like, oh, that chick's boobs make noises when she walks. Okay. Yeah. Cool. But just, like, the storytelling in it was really good. if you like zombie apocalypse type stuff. It was really good.
Which I know you do.
So, like, I can't really think. There's not a whole lot of, like, Japanese things where there's, like, a strong female lead who always stays that way. Without it, I mean, even with Final Fantasy VI, which the main character is female, arguably, the main character is female, halfway through the game, they're like, and she cray. She needs a man.
Well, actually, no. Not quite. At that halfway point, the point of view goes from Terra to Celeste, and she kind of picks up as the main character.
But Celeste was just a girl who was chained to a wall and needed help and had to be rescued.
Well, yeah, but I mean... but after that, she pretty much became
Then I never got to the... I didn't get to the second half of the game, so...
okay.
Well, I'll admit that. I just know it switches, like, halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
You switch the focus from Terra for whatever reason. And I didn't play 13, so I don't know about this lightning person. But, well, I did play 13, but I didn't play a lot of 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got to the point where the little kid was like, oh, I want to kill the dude because he killed Mom. Oh, he didn't kill Mom. I don't know what to do. I'm still gonna kill you. Yeah. With my little boomerang thing. I was the kid in Road Warrior. You better watch out for my boomerang.
Yeah, Hope's kind of a little twat.
Yeah. Like, that's pretty much as far as I got. And I was like, I can't. And then my friend who owned the 360, who had bought the game, was like, yeah. So, and like me and RJ is his name. We played through, like in high school, we played through all the original Ratchet and Clank games on PS2. Mm-hmm. We played through Final Fantasy 12 together. So we played, long games and stuff, but it was when we got 13, it was like, can't do it. Well, then we were in college by that point, so we were like, I don't really have time for this. This seems to be going a whole lot of nowhere, so yeah. But I mean, so 6 being the exception, like every other Final Fantasy has been, you gotta, like, the girl's not quite as good as the guy, or they're gonna have an issue. Like, Rhinoa tries to destroy the world because she gets brainwashed. It's a problem. Yuna's just a little girl who doesn't know what she wants, but she wants to make her daddy proud, and Dream Man's, spoiler alert, gotta save her. And 9, Dagger is, like, unstable and emotional, and her mom's crazy, and it's up to little monkey dude to give her some loving. 4, Rosa passes out in the desert. But 4's, she's like way side character in that. Rydia's pretty badass though. Mm-hmm. But they never, like, women never really get like a front seat. In 4 at least. And then in 3, you get Rifa in the remake.
Yeah, she's only in the remake, though.
And she doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, she's like the one storyline, and then like that's it. Well, she has 2, I guess. When you first get her, got a little storyline going on, and then she like falls in love with the guardian of the fire crystal. Who
she does?
She thought she did. It's been a long time.
Didn't remember that part.
And he like goes and kills himself.
Well, yeah, I remember that part, but I didn't think there was any like romantic subplot between them.
Oh, maybe she was just flirting with him.
Possibly.
I don't know, but like she didn't really do anything else after that. And then in 2, which I never really played through 2, you had Maria, but I don't think she did a whole bunch.
She didn't do much of anything either, but she wasn't. I don't think she was ever a damsel in distress character either.
And then I don't think there was any females in 1.
No, except for Sarah, who was the damsel in distress of that game.
No. Like, I mean, Wild Arms probably did a better job.
Yeah, it had a bunch of tough women characters. Cecilia, Jane, and Emma.
Calamity Jane. So, Cecilia's, I mean, for all intents and purposes, she was like the main character since Rudy had no speaking parts. Like, that was like her story, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack was like, I'm just here because I'm awesome. And I've got a pet rat that talks. Suck it. Like, that's why Jack. And then
I could argue the same, though, about Yuna in Final Fantasy X and Ash in Final Fantasy XII.
Yuna's so distraught throughout the whole thing, though.
Mm.
Like, I mean, yeah, she, like, finally stands up to Seymour when they're about to get married. Like, it takes her, like, to the altar and the marriage kiss for her to be like, I'm gonna do something. It's like, really? Took you that long? Not that Yuna's a bad character. I just don't think she's, like, a strong... I think Riku and Lulu are, like, stronger, like, constitution-wise, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, stronger. But Yuna is very much so, like, emotionally connectable with people, stronger, if that makes sense. Oh, and Ash was about as deep as a puddle.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean,
like,
of course, but
let's be real.
well, so was everybody else in 12.
Well, I mean, Balthier, you know, was about as deep as like a drinking glass, at least. He had the most character out of anybody in that game, but it still wasn't that much.
And even then, he was mostly just a Han Solo ripoff.
Yeah, and Thrawn was his Wookiee.
His Chewie, yep.
Yeah. Which, that should be coming out soonly. I don't know when it's going to get the PC release, but pretty excited for that.
Sounds like, yeah. I imagine you'll probably be doing that one.
Oh yeah, I like that. I don't know. I mean, that game is so long. So, I mean, that might not be one we do together just because it's so long. Like,
I don't care about the length so much. If that's what you're worried about.
If you want to, we can. But I mean, like, my first playthrough, which of course your first playthrough is going to be your longest.
That's always good. Yeah.
I still have the save file. I could boot it up and look, but I want to say it was over 100 hours.
Oh wow.
But again, that's, your first playthrough.
Yeah.
So I was able to get...
Might even be standard for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I was able to get like 2/3 into the game at like 15 hours maybe. My second playthrough, and that was just, of course, I was trying to, collect everything and stuff. Which the only thing I think we'll do if we do Let's Play that one is the we have to get all the summons. But, I'll try to do all the marks except for the last two.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like raid boss status.
Mm-hmm.
Because 12 is an MMO without being an MMO, a single player. It's a single player MMO.
Yeah.
So, like, the Hellworm and the Hellworm's older brother, for all intents and purposes, have like 40 health bars and take like 5 hours to beat.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably won't do that. Like, I didn't even do those on my own file, so. And I'm okay with that. But, yeah, we can. 10 should go by pretty quick.
Yeah.
10's not really long, and I'm not gonna try and unlock everything. I might get Arin's best weapon.
You're not gonna go through all those ridiculous side quests to unlock everyone's best weapons.
I'll try Titus's, but I've never been able to do it.
That
Which
thing
is
with the chocobos.
Right, and it's arguably like the easiest one to do. Like, theoretically,
That was one that I was able to do. The ones that I had the hardest time with was the butterfly thing for Kamari, and I think it was the Blitzball for Waka.
Yeah.
Those were the two I wasn't able to.
I know how to play Blitzball, and I understand how it all works. I just can't get it into practice, which is a problem. But it still takes forever to get his, takes forever to get all his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if I did do that, I'd do it off screen anyway. And then I've gotten Yuna's because hers is pretty easy to do. And Lulu's dodge thing, there's in the remake, it might be in the original too, but in the remake, you can. It still might be in the original one, but there's a certain location that when you walk over it, you can trigger the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time you walk over this very specific spot, it triggers the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it. I think it takes 30 minutes to do the 200 lightning dodges if you don't mess it up. So I know how to do it. Again, it's just putting it into practice. But even then, I never unlocked Lulu's on my own.
Yeah,
I just her dual cast made her a decent weapon, and she was fine. If you get the right materials for Lulu, all you need is MP cost 1, MP turbo, which makes you use more mana to do extra damage. So at MP cost 1, all your spells cost 2.
Yeah.
But you get the effect of the double damage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you get those two, you get break damage limit, and that's really all you need. And then you just dual cast Ultima and you kill crap. But Yuna, her magic stat ends up being so much better than Lulu's that you just get a couple black magic spheres, teach Yuna Ultima, Fyaga, Blizzaga, and Thundaga, and then just use Yuna the whole time, and she'll do more damage. She'll out-damage Lulu, and then use a special sphere so she can use double cast.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think Yuna. No. What was? How do you unlock Riku's? I want to say I unlocked hers too, like fully.
I don't remember.
Hold on, let me check my strategy guide that I got right here. Because that game came out before the internet started making wikis. And yeah, there's stuff like game facts, but it's not the same. Where is her godhead? There it is. Oh, hers was the Cactar minigame.
Oh, okay.
Where you just had to run around the desert for like 20 minutes. Activating all those stones and crap. So I unlocked hers, I unlocked Yuna's, and I unlocked Arin's because his was just capture all the crap.
Yeah, his was another of the easier ones.
It just takes forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you do that, and Arin's just powerhousing. By that point, like, broken. So, but anyway, Jade's wanted to end the video for like 20 minutes now.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to head back up through the waterway after all, since it doesn't look like there's a quick and easy way back to Damsayan.
Mm-hmm. And we're not sure if we're going to have to fight an ant lion or not,
Yes.
which we probably are.
He probably will. Hopefully Edward's up to the task.
Yeah, so we might want to get him to level 20, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, I was looking at my my save files before of like everyone's like final save for their chapter, and everybody was on average up in the mid-20s.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe a little grinding.
Yeah.
And then I still have to do some grinding on Wild Arms.
Yeah.
So we'll both be grinding off camera.
Oh boy.
But remember, you can grind your characters, you can grind your woman, but you can't grind your buddy.
And with those wise words, we will leave you until next time.
Bye.
I'm playing a game.